What's up, my fellow creepers and things that go bump in the night? Welcome back to another episode of Creature of the Night. I am your host, Toxin, your friendly neighborhood center. You should know what to do. Slash that subscribe button and ding that little bell to let you know every time I upload so you can keep up to date with me, guys. Now, this film has a lot of sequels, a lot of spin-offs, and honestly, for a majority of the films, I've enjoyed every single one of them. I wanted to like this one. Let's just dive right into it. The Conjuring, The Last Rites.
We've been waiting so patiently for you.
I feel like this was like a cookie cutter Conjuring movie. Watching it, I feel like I just watched every single other Conjuring movie. Not necessarily like the Annabelles, the Nuns, or anything like that. Mainly just the Conjuring movies. I feel like I was just watching it over and over again. There was really nothing different for me that stuck out in this one, and for it to be labeled the case that kind of ended it all, in my opinion, it should be like 10 times scarier. They're already labeling this demon as the most powerful of demons that they face, and yet there is no mention of the actual name, but they figured out the other names of the other demons, like I believe it's Malthus that possesses Annabelle, Valak, who is the nun. So for them to know their names and to categorize them, what is the issue with this demon? Again, guys, before I go into specifics, it had a very good pace at the beginning. It was just boom, 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 dropping bombs right after another. It kept you engaged the entire time. And before I continue again, this is my spoiler review. If you want to check out my spoiler-free review, make sure you go down in the description below and click the link to my TikTok, and make sure you give me a follow over there as well. I post my spoiler-frees over there and my spoilers here. Now, back to the review. I feel like it had a very good pacing, and then once you figured out that it was mainly going to be centered around Judy, this film, the daughter, that it kind of slowed down. It almost to like an abrupt halt, and it was just kind of dragging and became a slow burn after that, and then picked up again towards the end. Now, with this film, again, it being centered around Judy, it's like her coming of age. She's actually engaged in this one. She's developing her powers more. Like her powers are becoming more powerful, but she's trying to ignore them. She doesn't want to tap into that. She doesn't want to open that door because she can never close it again. So she's ignoring all things, and we actually find out, like, from not necessarily the very first case, but one of the cases that impacted them a lot was this case where it was like a father who owned an antique store, and he hung himself, and it was like a possessed mirror. Something about the mirror, it looked really cool. It looked really like old Victorian kind of style, like hand carved wood and stuff like that. And her touching it was just pure evil, and it actually caused Lorraine Warren to go and give birth to a premature Judy. So it was pretty cool to see, like, it was like a whole thing that this is what caused it. And maybe this is what caused, like, their infatuation even more with cases, and even the demon following it from the mirror to the hospital to see that Judy was stillborn, but praying to God and begging it. She came back to life, and they kind of end up living her life. And then it's like, okay, we have the movies to show that their lives are going on. Well, this is like one of those things. Again, going to the fact that it was supposed to be the most powerful demon that they've ever faced, but it took all those years for the mirror to find them. I don't know. And I don't know. It was weird. First off, the one thing I liked about Valak and Malthus with the other movies, like, it wasn't just the object that they were possessing that was missing with people. Like, it wasn't just the Annabelle doll. It wasn't just the figure of the nun, like, that's missing with people. They actually came out and showed their true demonic form, and they were actually missing with people. So I really liked that. I was like, okay, I get that the doll, the image of the nun, like a holy figure made unholy, that's scary in itself. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see, because I feel like, in my opinion, when it comes to heaven and hell with movies that they do right, it's easy to make an angel. You either make them like the most handsomest man or the most beautiful woman with the greatest hair, silver armor, all that shit. You know that, or how they did, which I really thought was badass, that they mixed it up in the movie Legion, where they made them all black and their halo was actually like a cuff around their throat. So mixing it up, I thought, to me, in my opinion, there's not a lot of ways that you can mess up really playing an angel, unless you show the true form of how they're depicted in the Bible. That's going to be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more challenging. But there's not a lot of ways you can mess up actually physically showing an angel. A demon, on the other hand, I feel like it's a little bit more challenging because you have everything before it compared to what you're doing, and there's only so much that you could do with them, like how you can change their appearance and stuff. But Malthus was amazing. Valak, when you finally saw him, he looked weird. He looked like he didn't have a jawline, but I really thought he would still look cool. So for them, I was really anxious to see what demon, the most powerful demon that they've ever faced, what that depicted and what that was going to be. And I'm going to be honest, it was a little disappointing. The film, again, it was kind of disappointing. Slow, very good pace, slowed down, just kind of made me like lose interest. My girlfriend even almost fell asleep during the film. And then it picks up again towards the end. So yeah, that's one of the things that let me down. The way that they depicted the demon and not even named the demon was a little bit of a let down too. But the only thing I can say, because I watch, y'all know I review movies. Like, the only thing I can say is the only other demon I've ever depicted the way they saw it, it was like a pale, sickly man with no horns and balding. You really didn't even see a face, just the glow of the eyes. So for me, like, the only thing I could compare it to, hopefully I found a clip or an image of it that you're seeing. The only thing I could compare it to was actually the son of the devil, which is depicted in the movie Constantine, starring Keanu Reeves. And I believe the name is Memnon.
To cross over, Memnon would need divine assistance. To cross over, Memnon would need the help of God.
Is the demon name. That's the only one I could depict as like if that's the son of the devil. But again, why I went on the whole spiel about the physical demon coming out, it just controls the mirror. It's the mirror that's really fucking these people up. It's choking out the future son-in-law. It's giving Ed Warren a heart attack because he's holding it back. I don't know. I was disappointed in this film. Again, it felt like a cookie cutter. There were the jump scares were really predictable. The only thing I will say that I liked about it, besides it being a Conjuring movie, which is why I went to go see it, I did like the little homage that it showed all the not all the characters, most of the characters from the other Conjuring movies itself. It showed them attending Judy's wedding, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like, hey, I owe you my life, so they're there in respect of the daughter, which I thought was really cool. But there's not a lot that I can say about this, guys. Again, it's like 57% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is a little disappointing. Again, for it to be called The Last Rites, for it to be called the case that ended it all, I thought somebody was going to die in it. Again, I know it's like Ed and Lorraine, like they died in their own ways. Ed dying from a stroke, and then I think a little while later, Lorraine ended up dying. She was like 92. I know they died at their natural causes, but I don't know. It says based off, so you could have mixed it up a little bit. Somebody could have died somewhere somehow. I'm just saying. I don't know, guys. I feel like the demon itself let me down, but it's always a demon possessing the ghost of the spirit, which is what Valak did in The Conjuring 2. This entity was no different. I feel like the family that it infected was more interesting than actual demon. Like the ghost, like, I think they're called the Smurls, and it was a husband who came home and found that his wife was being unfaithful to him, so he killed her and her mother in the basement. So that's the demon or the ghost that the family was dealing with. I feel like their story was a little bit more interesting versus what the demon that we got. Just saying. And oh my god, there was a damn scene where a dog was thrown against a wall. I almost walked out of the goddamn theater because of that. But thankfully the dog didn't make it. But guys, I'm gonna give it like 1 thumbs up. I'm gonna give it a good 5 or 6 out of 10. I know that's the usual low rating unless I absolutely hated it, but not that there's not a lot to hate on this, but I just was disappointed. It was a letdown. I expected more, but you know, to each his own. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on with the Warrens Museum. I believe somebody has it who has possession of it right now. They even let the Annabelle disappear.
What? What the f?
And reappear. It killed somebody.
You have fucked up now.
I don't know what the hell's going on. So hopefully we get a whole new different thing. It doesn't have to be with the Warrens. It could be something else. I know there's in talks of a TV show called like the Conjuring tapes or the Conjuring cases or something like that. Like that are in talks. I believe it's gonna be like a HBO Max or something on Hulu. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, I do want to see more cases of what was in that room that was locked away. Yeah, guys. Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know what you thought about this review. Let me know what you thought about my spoiler-free review when you go check it out. And again, make sure you go give me a follow over there, guys. Yeah, more to come, guys. Again, like I always say, if you're not sinning, you're not having fun. Beware the moon, guys.